Hiya! Welcome! This is Records Roundup number 103. Lots to show you, as there always is. 2 mail openings to do at the end. And we're going to start with a non-vinyl format. In Records Roundup 102, hopefully you watched it, I did pick up a couple of mini discs, and I didn't think I'd really be buying any more after that. Not for a while anyway, but there has been one that I've been on the lookout for years, really. I saw it on eBay. It was a buy it now, but you could make a best offer, so there was a bit of haggling and negotiation, and I got a few quid off this. I still think I've maybe, at least for my own personal collecting, overpaid a little bit, as I think this was still, including postage, a bit over £40. But it's an album I've been wanting to get for many years on the format because I've got the first volume, if you will, and it is James Horner's Back to Titanic. Nice condition this. I'm not going to spend too long talking about this because obviously with it being a mini disc it will get added into the list for upcoming MD Monday reviews. Not for quite some time, as I've got many that are in front of this in the queue that I'm waiting to review. But the follow-up to James Horner's Titanic soundtrack, that really needs no introduction or further explanation from me here. I know it's got My Heart Will Go On again, but it includes some dialogue from the film, which I think works quite well, because I did used to have this album on CD many years ago. I've been looking out for it on minidisc for quite some time, as I've got the original on minidisc, and the first volume, or the proper first soundtrack album, has been reviewed for MD Monday already. If you haven't seen it yet, go into the Minidisc Monday playlist. But that's all I'm going to say on Back to Titanic today. On to a 7-inch single, and a lathe cut one at that. It's the new physical release from Vicky Bennett, aka People Like Us, and it's a double A side, I suppose technically, Nothing Hill Gate and New Moment Valley. So this is the first of the staggered Indiegogo perks for Vicky Bennett's latest crowdfunding campaign. An album or some sort of 12-inch vinyl thing is coming out at some point, and I think she's releasing a new normal album, if you can call People Like Us normal, at some point this year as well. But this is the first of the Indiegogo perks. Nice thing this is, all the 7-inch singles here came in different colours, and it was kind of random as to which colour you got. And I got a very nice purple lathe cut single here. And I don't get a lot of purple vinyl, so I'm kind of glad. It didn't really matter. I didn't care what colour I got, and you couldn't specify. You just got whatever was randomly put into your package, I suppose. But good to have People Like Us back. New single from Vicky. Speaking of singles, we've got a new one from Till Lindemann. I say new, this has had a bit of a delay, as it came out initially, I think the end of May, but Vision Merch, the distributors for Till Lindemann products and also Blutengel products in the UK and US, had some shipment issues, and so this was kind of delayed, not the release date, but their copies that they were able to send out. But arrive it eventually did. This is S. Brent. This came out on a few different formats. It also came out as a 7-inch single, which I didn't get because there's no different tracks on the 7-inch. But the 12-inch does have 4 tracks on, or 3 versions of S. Brent, plus another standalone B-side. And also this version, and I think there might be a black 12-inch as well, I can't remember, but I decided to pay a little extra for this nice Red Smoke edition. Now, I did have the clip ready for S. Brent to play in a moment, but I think I'm not going to bother because there is explicit scenes in it. Although I did obviously find the clip via YouTube. That was from Till Lindeman's official account, or possibly Out of Line, his label's account, and they might have special dispensation to show certain graphic and X-rated imagery. Although the clip I managed to source, which it was for a minute, didn't have much in the way of it. I'm still a little bit paranoid, so do check it out on YouTube if you want to see any or all of the video, but you won't see any here from me. That's a judgment call. This is Till Lindeman's S. Brent. We stick with singles, and we also can show you a second lathe cut single here. Now this was pretty expensive for what it is, kind of inessential really, but I couldn't resist adding it to the order, which I'll talk about, from Live Here Now. And this is from Peter Hook and the Light, and it's a double A side there again, 10-inch single on clear vinyl, you can see it there. Limited to just 100 copies, Primitive Notion, and 60 miles an hour. So a kind of bonus thing to promote the next item that I'll show you. So I'm not going to talk too much about the album until we get to it. Very nice crystal clear vinyl. I'm not sure who the pressers were of this. I know for the People Like Us releases that have been lathe cut over the last few years, they've been using a company called Bladed Flies. Bit of a basic proposition here, but it is signed by Hooky himself, as you can see. But no sleeve to speak of, just this card insert that goes in this plastic sleeve here. I kind of got it because it just said 100 copies. It was, I think, £50 actually, which was more think about it, more think, why did I add that to the basket? Because the album itself, both tracks do feature on the album, so there's nothing exclusive on here either. But you know me, when it comes to New Order related, I like to be all in really, and we can get back to New Order later with one of the male openings. But that is the limited 10-inch lathe cut single from Hooky and the Light. And also we have the album which those tracks are from, and let me read out the full title of the album, although you'll see it on screen in a sec. It's Live at O2 Victoria Warehouse, Manchester, 19th of April 2025. So a 3-disc set, first live release, physical release from Peter Hook and the Light in a few years. He and the Light have been touring the Get Ready album for the last year and a half, maybe a bit more. This is also out on CD. I don't double up with Hooky and the Light, so I haven't bothered with the CD, although there is a bonus CD in here. Now then, this is one of those trifold sleeves that I always struggle with, but I did want to show you each record here, because I think they're all different colours. So disc 1 is kind of a dark grey. Middle bit. Oh, and there's another bonus item which I'll show you in a sec. This one, is this classed as red or orange? I think this is classed as red. Looks a very bright red on camera anyway. It's a very sunny day today and very hot as well. But even when you're getting a lot of natural light through, as well as your artificial light, things can still look a little bit dull on camera. I'll just put that thing down there. Right, in this pocket, I think, is the 3rd disc and the CD. Or maybe the CD isn't in that pocket. Maybe the CD's in the first pocket and I forgot. Nothing much to look at with the CD. I don't think there's any writing on it, and I'm starting to struggle here because of this cumbersome sleeve. But if I can just show you, oh yeah, the CD, I put it in the middle section there. See, that's a CD. Told you it weren't worth looking at. Oh, well, it's slid out as well. 3rd disc is white vinyl. Now let's never have to open this on camera again. Of course I've got to open it when I play in it, but I've not got a mic wire trailing about and my phone precariously propped up, and everything could get yanked down really easily. I know there'll be people who are saying, well, why don't you just get a wireless mic? I have used a cheaper wireless lavalier in the past. I know you can get better ones if you're willing to spend more money, but I kind of like this wired one that I use. This is really going off tangent, isn't it? Because I like the fact that to say it was dirt cheap off Amazon or somewhere, it does produce good sound, or I think it does anyway. And the other thing in the live album from Hooky and the Lights was what is basically a 12-inch version of the insert for the single. Got 2 signatures from Peter Hook as well. So that is Hooky and the Lights. It's the Get Ready live album really, but the title doesn't actually mention Get Ready, but good to have that in the collection.
Best found you, you're so volatile. Not even a zoo when they pound you. Don't look at me with your critical smile. As if you hang on primitive notion, and I think you'd like to try. You can hang this magic potion. You can do it till the day that you die. I've done it before and I'll do it again. Try to the light that I'll get to the end. I can't believe that we're so far apart. I want it to be like it was at the start.
Got to get myself some of that.
You are? Sit down. Hey, where have you been?
Been busy.
Me busy? Busy doing what? You dig it.
Smell my fingers, mate.
Nothing like a prize! The sweet smell of success! Challenge!
Alright, another expensive indulgence here from Discogs Marketplace. This is another studio album, one that I didn't think I'd be getting at any point soon, but I was glad to get it. Light Build from Blutengle. This is a double album from... Does it say the date on? It says it on screen anyway, so I don't know why I'm particularly worrying. No, can't see the date on the back anyway. I'll show you one of the discs though. And there again, like the Hooky album, I don't think the CD is going to be particularly interesting packaging wise, but this is on sort of a very vaguely marbled silver vinyl here. Very nice, and I think the other disc is the same. The Hooky CD, by the way, the bonus CD, it is different tracks, whereas in this album from Blutengle, it's the album replicated, which they and a lot of other acts have done, not so much in recent years, but in, say, the last 10 to 15 years. Yeah, there you go, look, another very boring... I'll get this one out just to show you that it is the album. Yeah, there you go. But it's the same album, it's not like a bonus disc of different tracks. I think even though I didn't have any extra taxes to pay on it, because I arranged with the seller that he would mark it down as lower value, it was still, what was it, about 80 something euro I think, including postage, so expensive, but collecting Blutengle is expensive. But there we go, that is Light Build.
Jede Nacht in deinen Träumen gehst du auf die Reise in eine andere Welt. Und alle Farben dieser Welt leuchten nur für dich. Du träumst von einem besseren Leben. Dieses Leben gehört nur dir, solange du atmest, solange du lebst. Es gibt keinen Weg zurück, du musst immer weitergehen. Was geschehen ist, ist geschehen.
fairly new release here from Acid Jazz. This was bought from the Acid Jazz web store, and it is Matt Berry Trio, Everything's Peachy. So this is part 2 or volume 2 in Acid Jazz's Jazz Sessions series. It seems to be the same track played 12 times in presumably slightly or maybe more than slightly differing styles. Matt Berry Trio consists of Matt Berry, obviously, Phil Scragg and Graham Mann. First album technically credited to Matt Berry Trio. This one is the Acid Jazz store exclusive, limited to 500 copies. So I will show you. Nice green vinyl there. What's the colour that they class it as? Spring green opaque Memphis colour. But a nice green is what I will refer to it as. Not that you can count this as a proper Matt Berry studio album because it's not credited to him solo and it's not differing tracks, but quite intrigued by this, and I'm a Matt Berry collector, so certainly was happy to pick this up and add it to the collection. Everything's Peachy, Volume 2 of Acid Jazz's Jazz Sessions. Another new release here from one of my favourite groups of the Britpop and post-Britpop era. It's the album Avalanche from West Yorkshire's own Embrace. And this was the band's web store / Townsend Music variant. A lot of different variants have come out for this, but I'm glad I got this one in particular, and followers of my Instagram account and friends on Facebook will know why I was pleased to plump for this edition. But we'll get it open as I tell you. Came in this not particularly great sticky PVC that I don't think does records and sleeves all that much good really. This edition of Avalanche, and obviously I've not listened to any of this yet, came with a lovely bonus. If you were early enough to pre-order this at Townsend or the band's web store, which is run by Townsend, you would get your name credited as one of the first 1,000 pre-orderers, I suppose, on this signed insert. And my name, I did spot it fairly quickly actually, is somewhere up near that signature. I'll put a photo up now that I took and it'll show you more clearly, but yeah, thought that was a nice sort of treat for people buying this version, and it being the store exclusive. There's a look at the inner, by the way. It's a different vinyl variant, red and white, marbled, I think it's classed as. Lovely stuff there. It does say Avalanche 30th anniversary on the insert, but it's not the 30th anniversary of the album because it's a brand new album full of new tracks, but it's celebrating Embrace's 30th anniversary since their first single, I'd have thought, because I thought they were going a little longer than sort of when they started appearing in the chart in 97, 98. I'm assuming their first single of some description came out in 1996, hence the 30th anniversary. I'll probably keep it in this, even though I don't like it, because it kind of feels like it's an item that belongs with this album, if you see what I mean. But there we go, Avalanche by Embrace.
But I can't wait, 'cause while I wait, all my days seem like yesterday. I won't change, this is pain, and
One more to look at before we can do 2 mail openings today. And this one, I was very pleased when this got announced. I think I originally saw an announcement from the artist on Instagram, and then it was a case of waiting for pre-orders to take effect at Bandcamp. And it is the latest repressing of the second studio album and the one I was missing from Warrington Runcorn Newtown Development Plan, People and Industry. Out of print for a few years now. Originally came out in, I want to say around 2021 or 2022. There again, it says on screen. And it did have one repressing a couple of years later, but it's been expensive to get on the aftermarket. Gordon Chapman Fox, the man behind the moniker, announced that this was getting another repressing and pre-orders would open fairly soon after, which they did. And I picked this up from the Castles in Space Bandcamp page. Castles in Space, of course, being his record label. So that's the first disc, and I think the second disc is technically bonus tracks that never been released, at least on vinyl, previously from, I think, the same era as the album People and Industry. And I think the second disc may look slightly different. That's a lovely blue-black spatter. This is a gatefold sleeve as well, so I'll show you that very quickly. And bonus disc. Is that different? This might have more yellow on it, maybe. So my Warrington Runcorn Newtown Development Plan, it's mouthful innit, album collection is now complete. This was the one I was missing. I believe he is preparing for a brand new studio album release by the end of the year, which of course I'll be looking out for. There is still 12-inch EPs and 7-inch singles that have tempted me. I may still plump for them, the ones that aren't difficult or expensive to buy on the aftermarket anyway. But for now, I'm just happy with the standard studio albums, or in this case, the kind of deluxe repressing version. But really, really happy that I finally managed to get a copy of People and Industry.
Holidays abroad? Never again. Third time we've been. Third time we've had tummy trouble.
Diacalm for you. Diacalm stops diarrhea. Beats holiday tummy troubles fast. Better now.
What do you think?
Right, first of 2 mail openings today. This one, I just got a notification that this was coming this morning. I'd ordered it a bit over a week ago from Japan. In fact, I got this from a site I'd never used before, and it was my good friend Martin Harris in his July vinyl update on his channel who alerted me to this site, cdjapan.jp, and he'd bought an Alicia Keys album on vinyl that I think was a Japanese exclusive. And I thought, oh, that's not a site I've come across yet. I'll go and see what there is that might tempt me. And there wasn't a lot that I wanted. I mean, plenty of CDs, obviously. A little bit of vinyl, but nothing that I was after, apart from this compact disc here. I think the box itself is probably going to be a little bit big for what's actually in here, but I think this was the standard postage and packing option that I chose. Just a kind of cheap cardboard box. And I picked standard untracked airmail, and it's still come pretty quickly. So my advice to anyone checking out CD Japan is unless it's a really expensive item and you want extra insurance and quicker delivery, etc. I wouldn't bother paying for anything above the standard airmail cheap postage rate. Get another packing slip or invoice or something in there, and wrapped in kind of tracing paper or rice paper. That's very nice. Even with me not really adding bells and whistles or better packaging to the order that you can do, I think they've took some care and attention here. So I've still got some bubble wrap. It's a bootleg CD really. I wouldn't have normally got this, not from CD Japan, but I wanted to try them out. Martin had spoken well of them, and when I saw that this was available, I thought for a bootleg CD it's a bit much, because I think including postage this would have ended up being around £25. But it is New Order live in Los Angeles 1986. So it's got 11 tracks, which I'm presuming is the full set from the Palace Los Angeles on the 4th of November 86. Then to fill the CD out, it's put 4 tracks from the 93 Reading Festival on as well. I do already have the full Reading Festival set on a bootleg CD, and I have shown that in at least one video some years ago. It's nice that, although it's a bootleg, an unofficial thing, the record company, or whatever you want to call them, who do these particular CDs, they've included an Obi strip there. I'm not going to get this unsealed now to keep this video moving along, but I think that's nice. The company is Alive the Live, and I think they've got a section on Discogs that you can check to see what other live recordings they do, and perhaps CD Japan sell some of those. Don't know what the sound quality will be like. Hopefully it'll be pretty decent, but that's the risk you take with unofficial live albums. Just to give CD Japan a try, this was the only thing I could find in stock that they had that would fit my collection at the moment, so thought I'd get it. Lovely stuff, another New Order live album. And finally, here's a mail opening of a big new release. It is out today, as of the day of me recording this video, but you won't be seeing it until early August. But I'm sure there'll be plenty of YouTube videos about this album coming out today, as I'm recording this, onwards. This is from the band's own web store. Loads of variants of this have come out, as I suspected they would. And it is, you just caught a glimpse of it, Foreign Tongues, the brand new studio album from the Rolling Stones. This is the store exclusive white vinyl edition. I remember I did show a white record earlier with Pete Hawk and the Light, so I think I'm actually just going to leave this sealed really and wrap this up a bit quicker than normal. But it's a double album. I think I've heard In the Stars on here so far. Hopefully I'll be able to play a clip of that in a moment if it doesn't have to get removed by the Gestapo. Strange sleeve, innit? So this felt like quite a unexpected return from the Stones, because it only feels 5 minutes ago since they released the last album, Hackney Diamonds, which I think is a very good album. I'm hoping this is at least on a par with that. I expect kind of the Stones to have breaks of at least 5 years between releases really, but one was Hackney Diamonds, was that 2023? So maybe 3 years, just under, before Foreign Tongues. But let's be honest, Mick, Keith and Ronnie aren't getting any younger, are they? And if they've got more material in the can or in development, then perhaps they just wanted to get this out, you know, before it's too late really, without wanting to get too morbid about it. I do think it's a peculiar sleeve, but it's the sort of thing that might grow on me, and the Stones have been known for other unusual album sleeves over the years. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, without being absolutely ultra excited to listen to it, but I'm a Stones fan, so I was bound to want it for the collection at the very least, and maybe it'll end up being one of my favourite Stones albums, like Hackney Diamonds has become. Other variants of this, by the way, there's loads. There's like a green indie store exclusive version, and then there's been kind of riffs on that from companies like Wax and Beans with their signed and numbered slice, and that was very impressive that they were able to get the actual Rolling Stones to collaborate with them. There might be an Asai signed or at least numbered Obi edition as well. There's different alternate sleeve versions. I think the Amazon exclusive is a different colour vinyl and has a different sleeve to it, and that one did tempt me, but in the end I just ended up going for the Rolling Stones store exclusive. As long as I've got the album, it ultimately didn't really matter which version of it was. But I'm sure there's plenty out there who are trying to collect as many as possible, and there has been a lot. If you go on Discogs and go to the entry for Foreign Tongues, I'm sure you'll see a good dozen or more already. Anyway, that is the Stones' comeback, Foreign Tongues.
If you wanna seek your fortune, need a lot of luck. I was standing there when the lightning struck. I feel a heavy hand tangling with my plans. It's in the stars, it's at the starting. It's in the stars, it's in you and me. It's in the stars, it's no mystery. Yeah. It's in the stars, written you and me.
And that was Records Roundup number 103 today. I managed to get through that a little bit quicker than I hoped, but as I say, I'm recording this on one of the hottest days of the year, so if I've kind of rushed and garbled this a little bit, then that'll be why, because I don't really want to sit here sweating and being uncomfortable and sticky and all the rest of it. By the time you're watching this, summer will probably be over for us in the UK. It might not be. We might get a really long summer and have some more heat waves throughout August. I don't really want there to be. I prefer spring and a kind of cooler, around 20 degrees or under temperature. That's degrees Celsius, by the way, for those Yanks watching who are like, hey, wanna see me in 20 degrees? That's below freezing. But no, that's Fahrenheit. And that is my impression of an American watching this. Right, I think the heat's getting to me actually, so I better wrap this one up now and say thank you for watching today. Special thanks that go to my wonderful subscribers and generous patrons. I'm gonna go now. Plenty to listen to. Mostly vinyl, as there always is, but some CDs there, including the Hooky bonus tracks and the Blutangle album doubled up on CD, and of course the New Order live album as well. And of course I will ask that you join me again next time for the next Records Roundup and my next music collecting video. Cheers everyone. See ya!